Hey guys, um, it's been a minute again as usual, but for those of you who keep coming back to visit, thank you for sharing your energy. Um, I'm gonna do something a little differently today. Um, Sorry it's a little late, but I was totally called to share this channeling that I did the other day actually. Well, I wasn't even channeling, to be honest. It just fell out and it was like the message of the moment. And definitely important to share it with you guys, given where everything's at in the world right now. I thought it was absolutely beautiful what cards fell out in sequence. Really, really cool. So this is with the Mayan Oracle, and there were 3 cards that came out. Well, actually 6, but I'm just going to touch on the first 3 right now. The first card was the bee, and it's cool. So, like, according to the Mayan Oracle, bee is symbolic of apprenticeship, which is like it means seeking and spiritual training. So I thought that was really super awesome, given kind of like the development of New Earth and where we're at with like all these big changes that are happening on a very spiritual level. Like a lot of people coming up into the 5D and just being more aware and awake for what can seem like so much time here in this place. But I'm just gonna go through some highlights with B. Actually, I want to share this with you guys too. So, did you know that scientifically, a bee is, it's like scientifically not supposed to be able to fly? A really good friend of mine, he's kind of geeky in a sense, like I love him to death, but he had this presentation um, where he talks about the bee, and he's like, how can the bumblebee fly? And it's basically because nobody told them that it couldn't. And yeah, like literally, scientifically speaking, the dimensions of the bee's body and the wingspan and everything, like they should not be able to fly. But they're awesome. They like buzz all over. I like the way they put it in the oracle, like the bee is like the shamaness of the flower. You know, bees are very significant part of life. And it's cool too, because like the vibrations that they carry and stuff, like if you really pay attention, we have like those vibrations everywhere around us all the time, that buzz, that hum. That's what kind of has that integrated, really like cooperative effect of like the hive mentality and like the whole, you know, like with the bee, like they all have their individual little missions that they go off, but they're always working with the whole in mind, like the whole collective. So yeah, so they go, bee does her singular tasks within a multiplicity of being. Bee teaches cooperation with others and has an innate understanding of the good of the whole tribe. For this reason and others, bees embody the essence of the apprenticeship spirit. Just as an apprentice is seeking spiritual honey, the bee is gathering and sharing sweetness in a similar manner. I think that's awesome. Oh, sorry, my baby. Oh, not my bumbies. So bees know well the beauty way, the beauty trails. spiritual teachings have been likened to beautiful flowers in a lush meadow. The bee follows her intuition, moving from flower to flower. So must the apprentice use her intuition in understanding the teachings. And that's like really significant too, you know, because we've done that so much throughout our history. Like, there's so many metaphors, you know, that some have taken so literally. You know, it's like, I got this one. Oh my god, that was nuts. Sorry. Something's trying to talk to us. Oh, I get it. Okay. My apologies. Okay. Hopefully that is good. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's good for you guys. I get why that happened. I'm sorry about that. But we're good. So where was I? The metaphors and kind of like some of the riddles that we've written through time to help us understand in a moral sense, but we've more or less like confused ourselves. It's like fact and fiction, you know, like fiction most often it's the very magical reality for another person, another part of our collective. But to come out and say, you know, like, I live in such a fantastical world, you know, like the social facade and, you know, the social conditioning that we've had in like the old earth, old world. It was like a lot of times that would be like frowned upon, right? And so it's really kind of taken some beautiful minds, like I think, of our collective that have kind of hidden in the shadows. And what I'm seeing is like now with the growing of New Earth that people are going to start really waking up and coming out and not being afraid to actually share these amazing sub-realities within our collective reality, that's like, it's a really essential part of the growth and like co-creating of New Earth together as a collective whole again, you know, like a hive of bees, right? All working together in unison and all working to like co-create and all for the, you know, thinking of the tribe kind of thing. That's like a really good analogy that makes sense for me personally, like, and what I see is where we're going with New Earth. Just kind of coming back to like the original union and the awakened consciousness in our collective of human. Now, the second card is perfect. It was woman and man and new humanity. So I thought that was absolutely incredible. And I think what's really important too, like for both woman and man, you know, is like we really have to make peace with the idea that it's going to be total change, and to just be okay with that, to like let go of this old system and way of being and actually start coming back into our own personal truths, which are going to completely nourish the whole. And yeah, just like a lot more, I see a lot more people coming forth with like amazing contributions that would have been kind of dormant, or yeah, just like stagnating in a sense because of the conditioning that we've had. So yeah, so like as we're entering into this whole new paradigm, you know, like it's going to be common for people like feeling anxious or, you know, even fearful, right? I think we need to keep reminding each other and like reminding ourselves that, you know, there's nothing really to be afraid of, because we're moving out of this sense of like masked enslavement, or, you know, a kind of agreed to, and it's okay, there's a metaphor for us, masked enslavement. Oh yeah. It's crazy, like the final flail, you know, leading into like the breakdown of the old structure and stuff, and taking something like a really bad flu and just totally terrifying people with it, confusing people and stuff, because corona crown, people are awakening, right? And so that old way of things, like there are those that are just like even still struggling to just let it go, that it's time for people to be waking up and to let it be, right? So basically, yeah, like with New Earth and everything, and then this woman and man card, like all we can do as individuals, right, is precisely that, like focus on what we can do, that's going to contribute to a sustainable future. Yeah, I like the way they put it, like better to labor for a new world that you envision. Absolutely. Like think about what we're letting go of, and being okay to release that, because when you really think about it, how well did it serve you as an individual? You know, like how much focus was on individual and the whole, and like I find there was a lot of like same, like that's not the way we're meant to be. You know, every single individual, every single soul as coming into this collective, it's going to be different, and that's important, because it's going to bring to the collective the connected whole consciousness, whatever part, you know, like we all have our own signature, and that cannot be replicated, you know. I think that's what's so precious about human life. The simple fact that there is really no same if you're paying attention, really listening, taking the time to learn, right? Okay. So yeah, they're just talking about... Okay, so if you have selected the... Well, we didn't select, they just like fell out, but this card, if it came into the reading, it says to prepare to enter a cycle of completion. And that's exactly what we're doing. Everything's like getting wrapped up right before, you know, like the age of Aquarius. I'm so stoked. This is fantastic. Finish the old and begin the new. Set your life in order. So make peace with the idea, this is cool, of utter change. As you enter the new paradigm, you may feel anxious or fearful. Go ahead and mourn and process the loss of the old world. Acknowledge with gratitude the old ways that sustained your life. So as the emergence of new humanity approaches, do your part to create a sustainable future within the context of your situation. Work on the things that won't happen unless you contribute to them and make them happen. If you choose not to participate in creating your future, then get ready for the consequences. Better for you to labor for the new world you envision. So, okay, I'm just going to finish reading this actually because it's pretty perfect. We've hidden from ourselves, and so we come to the paradox of being human. One of us is woman, the other is man, and we are equally human. Together we cling to the face of the earth under the forces of gravity. Our muscles and organs are hung on long bony frames. Arms and legs dangle at our joints, yet whenever we see a bird ascending effortlessly into the sky, we throw our spirits out of our bodies and fly upward with that bird. Our spirits want to go home to the sun, to the stars. To heal this great sorrow, we meditate on the opposing sides of our nature. The snake bird with oneself on the earth and oneself in the sky. The light and the dark. The feathered serpent. But now the feathered serpent's shadow is covering the earth. It is quiet now, quiet before a new dawn, before new humanity. Humans are a glimpse in the dazzling mirror carrying the knowledge of cosmic oneness. Back to the sun, to the great unity we go. Our destination, a star. I like that. It's fantastic. Like, ever since I was little, like how I perceived, I've always totally been into the cosmos. And what I noticed when I was young was like the way everything is like a reflection of a reflection of a reflection. So for example, like the cosmos and the way things flow in like this, our solar system, for example, orbiting the sun, and I should have started from the I've always been up there and I gotta ground myself. But I mean, like, even just looking at what would be a good example, like our human body, and the way it flows, like our blood, the way it pumps through our body, and just our whole system of being just to function in the whole of ourself, right? And then take that outside of ourselves and we have like, our community. It's like what's happening in our body is kind of a mirror out of like the community and how everybody's doing their part and moving. And you go like a step up and you look at like the city, and like the flow of traffic and traffic lights and whatnot, and just like that's kind of another reflection of the whole, right? And then stepping up and going into like the solar system and the galaxy. Yeah, I hope that made sense to you guys. I'm trying to get better at explaining things so that it can reach like a lot more people. I know I've always been a bit of like a metaphoric perceiver, so I know sometimes my storytelling can be challenging to decipher for some. And the third and final card was, or not the final card, I'm going to come back soon and do the other three. I haven't even seen them yet, so we'll do it together. So the third card was tobacco, and tobacco with the minds and many tribes I think, most, is symbolic of truth. So, and this card, okay, it's bringing up 13. It says 13 is the numinous heart of sacred geometry and is a number that has great importance in ancient astrology and prognostication. The number 13 represents the highest heaven. Even though our search takes us in many directions, this heaven we seek is within, and the way there is truth. Now, is that not so perfect to everything that's like happening right now? From a spiritual perspective, I know like 13's been really coming up a lot, and me and like beautiful lady friend of mine were talking about that, and I'm like, you know, it's kind of like the 13th chapter. And 13 is also like, it's a number of the goddess, and then we're in like a 4 year of, you know, building new foundation. 13 breaks down to a 4. Yeah, it's powerful. Like, I like the way this oracle is sharing some amazing insight for us. So ritual tobacco is often smoked at the base of a medicine tree. Tobacco holds the truth of all truths, our essence. Tobacco holds powers beyond anyone's comprehension. It is an offering and an intercessor to the spirit world. A puff of tobacco smoke can bring about a change in the entire universe. Proper use of tobacco can foster wholeness. Tobacco reminds one that even a holy plant can be made profane. One must always relate to tobacco in a respectful way because of its immense power. The tobacco spirit instructs you to know your garden, and it nurtures your body, and how it nurtures your body. Know your mental garden, the one that produces food for the mind. Be careful how you feed this garden so that you don't grow harmful thoughts. Know your spiritual garden and feed it with good spirit food. Tobacco has long been considered such a food. Even packaged up in corporate greed and sold by gaudy Madison Avenue hucksters, tobacco is still holy. Never demonize any of the plant nations like that. The keepers of this land, called Turtle Island, smoked sacred tobacco many thousands of years ago. It was smoked in reverence for ceremonies and rituals. The old ones had the vision to pray for the generations to come who would inhabit and take care of our mother, Gaia, Earth. They prayed that future humanity would love and be responsible for all aspects of our sacred planet. They prayed for all animals, trees, rivers, lakes, and mountains. They prayed for the sky. They prayed for the elementals. They prayed for the spirit beings. They prayed for prosperity and peace for all of humanity. They prayed for wisdom and understanding among all people. They prayed for future generations. They shared the sacred smoke in a winged upward lifting to the mysterious one. Now those old prayers have been said. The old ones are gone. The knowledge of who they were is all but forgotten. They are the spirits that linger in power places. Their prayers are the reason we have such wondrous blessings. Those old ones see the world we have made and are crying for us in the spirit land. So Tobacco Card sends out the hope of a fearless spiritual life. It holds high ideals and asks you to live them. It asks you to pray for your family, friends, clan, nation, and all people. Pray for courage and honesty. Pray for the old and the young. Pray for all animals, insects, and all water and water beings. Pray for the sun and the galaxies. Pray for our universe. Don't leave anything out intentionally. Tobacco tells us We are all in it together. We are all related. When connected, collective consciousness awakened and creating new earth together. Super stoked. I'm gonna leave it at that for now, but I'm gonna be back really soon. Actually, I'm gonna share really quick the 2 runes that also popped up for me the same day. This was on new moon, actually. It was the day of the new moon. And the 2 runes, the first one was Degas, which is enlightenment and like awakening. And the second one was Wunjo, which is joy. So I'm going to leave it at that. I thought it was pretty fantastic, and I'm going to be back really soon, and I'm not going to flip those 3 cards. We're going to do it together. Check out that message coming through. I hope you guys got something from here, inspiration or sweet soothings, whatever you may need. I hope this nourished you in some way. If you're feeling my vibes, please like, share, and subscribe. Trying to grow my channel. Yeah, thanks for being here, and I will see you very soon.